Have you ever felt that strange sensation where the entire world seems to turn against you? That precise moment when truth explodes into daylight in the most unexpected way. Your privacy has just been exposed before 8 people during a meeting. 8 gazes that fell upon you with a mixture of surprise and malicious satisfaction. They exchanged knowing smiles, convinced they had discovered your weak point, certain this revelation would be enough to make you lose all credibility. But what they don't know is that while they savored this moment of apparent triumph, far more powerful forces were already set in motion. Because what has just been unveiled isn't your weakness. It's precisely the trigger that will transform your destiny. The Creator has a particular revelation for you today. He whispers these words to you, "My beloved, in this assembly of 8 influential people, your most personal secret has been brought to light, and all have smiled without understanding what I observed from the celestial heights." They settled back in their chairs, their gaze filled with cruel satisfaction and a sense of superiority, convinced they dominated the situation. But nothing ever escapes me. I perceived the acceleration of your heart. I felt that oppression in your chest, while their mocking whispers pierced the atmosphere like sharpened arrows. They believed they could reshape reality through their sarcasm, that their earthly influence could diminish the sacred design I have placed within you. Yet what they turned into ridicule wasn't an insignificant detail, but a golden thread woven into a destiny far vaster than their minds can conceive. While they snickered with complacency, invisible mechanisms were already set in motion. Eternal and patient eyes scrutinized every gesture, every word, every hidden intention. These superior forces were already beginning to readjust trajectories, to bend the course of your story toward what I have planned since the origin of time. The story they thought they controlled was only beginning to unfold before the eternal. My chosen one, I tell you solemnly, often laughter is merely the poorly fitted mask of fear and ignorance. These 8 people believed themselves untouchable, invulnerable. They imagined their social position could stifle the truth I have sown within you. But in reality, through their mockery, they have unknowingly planted the first seeds of their own astonishment. What seemed to them to be your vulnerability is for me only meticulous preparation. Before continuing this revelation, write in the comments, "My inner strength grows greater each day." This simple act reinforces your spiritual aura and repels any negative energy that would attempt to reach you. Now follow me in this discovery. You are a clay vessel I have shaped with infinite care for extraordinary works. I have gathered every tear you shed in solitude. I have counted every sleepless night when you thought the burden exceeded your strength. And I affirm to you, these trials are not destined to destroy you, but to purify you like gold in the crucible. Every suffering, every mockery resonates like a hammer on the anvil of your soul, shaping it for the grandiose destiny I have already traced. While they amused themselves with your situation, invisible forces began their celestial dance. Eternal gazes filled with patience observed every expression, every word spoken, every secret intention. These superior powers were already proceeding with necessary adjustments, directing the thread of your existence toward the direction I have determined since the dawn of time. The plot they believed they controlled was only beginning its unfolding before the eternal. My beloved, I reveal to you, often sneers are only the fragile screen of anguish and blindness. These 8 individuals perceived themselves as unshakable, invincible. They imagined their influence could silence the truth I have implanted in your heart. But reality is altogether different. Through their sarcasm, they have unconsciously sown the first seeds of their own future amazement. What they interpret as your weakness actually constitutes my preparation. If you feel this divine revelation concerns you directly, write in the comments, "I receive my celestial destiny." This declaration seals your acceptance of the superior plans unfolding for you. Every mocking word, every contemptuous smile, every exchange of gazes filled with derision now transforms into a springboard toward your elevation. My beloved daughter, There will come a moment when their sneers will change into silent stupefaction. The secret that was once pretext for mockery will become a brilliant sign of revelation. The precise hour remains still veiled in the mysteries of the eternal, but I announce to you, the profound design of this exposure has already begun to manifest in invisible spheres. While these 8 people sit in their deceptive assurance, believing themselves absolute masters of the situation, I move every detail in sovereign silence. Every gesture of contempt they express becomes an essential element of an infinitely complex plan that lifts you toward the heights. Celestial messengers align circumstances and opportunities with precision, so the entire universe conspires in your favor. The secret once ridiculed will transform into an unshakable pillar of your new strength. It will be the spark that inspires souls and the solid foundation of your spiritual growth. Today, they persist in their voluntary blindness, but the moment of great reversal approaches with great strides. When it finally occurs, even the most proud will remain speechless, and you will understand then that nothing will have been in vain in this trial. My dear daughter, I have perceived your inner trembling, that painful oscillation between felt shame and the weight of your exceptional destiny. But I affirm to you solemnly, every fear you experienced was received with tenderness in the heavens. These people imagined their mockery could break you definitively, but they don't suspect the titanic forces they have awakened through their arrogance. I contemplate the angels surrounding you on all sides. Their wings delicately brush earthly reality. Their whispers deposit drop by drop the courage in the folds of your wounded heart. Even the invisible chains of the universe bend to your advantage, transforming every sarcasm into future glory. Every malevolent intention becomes the solid base of a more radiant future, and nothing ever escapes my divine strategy. Right now, celestial forces work for my good. This affirmation activates a shield of spiritual protection around you and prevents any negative energy from penetrating your aura. Let us continue this extraordinary revelation. I have observed the perfidious design of their mockery reflected in my celestial strategy. Every gaze filled with sarcasm actually constitutes a precious thread in the tapestry of your future elevation. While they continue to delight in their satisfied ignorance, I prepare a revelation so profound and so overwhelming it will annihilate their excessive pride. Time remains still hidden behind the veil of eternity, but it approaches inexorably. The entire sky observes attentively. Every sneer, every hurtful word, every condescending gesture was engraved in the imperishable book of eternity. Angels remain like vigilant sentinels, recording even the most subtle vibrations of the heart that hide behind every spoken word. They believe they celebrate your supposed humiliation, but in truth, they build the scaffolding of your triumphant ascension. And if this revelation resonates deeply in your heart up to now, and you wish to support this mission so it reaches other people who also traverse similar trials, click like. This gesture filled with love helps keep alive this mission of bringing light to those who have lost hope. Infinite gratitude for your support. My beloved, even the energies they believe they master are already being redirected by my sovereign will. Every mockery, every disagreeable comment, every contemptuous gesture they manifest is used as precious fuel to feed your brilliant victory. While they imagine holding the reins of power, they have already entered a divine gear that will culminate in total surprise and profound shock. The secret they turn to derision actually constitutes a receptacle of spiritual power. What appeared insignificant and trivial to their eyes represents a fertile seed that will produce unimaginable and wonderful fruits. Celestial messengers watch over this precious seed, protecting it with care and watering it with their blessings until it blooms in dazzling splendor. When it finally flowers in all its magnificence, no one will be able to deny what I have already proclaimed concerning your exceptional existence. I have contemplated how their sneers have caused ripples in invisible realms. Every little mockery functioned like a precious key, turning in the lock of destiny's mechanisms. Doors they cannot even perceive have begun to open majestically. My beloved daughter, while they entertained themselves in their blissful ignorance, I meticulously prepared the grand theater of revelation. Their excessive pride will crumble like a sandcastle. Their arrogant assumptions will fail miserably, and your secret will shine with 1,000 fires. The moment of supreme revelation remains still hidden behind the mysterious veil, patiently awaiting the divine hour and sovereign will. Understand this well, heaven never remains silent in these crucial instants. Every piercing sound, the sharpened edge of their laughter, the disdainful inclination of their heads, all the glances exchanged with complacency, all of this was carefully recorded in the eternal book of divine justice. Every subtle nuance is weighed with precision that infinitely surpasses the most refined human understanding. Angels act in perfect silence, manipulating levers invisible to the naked eye, adjusting with mastery events and conversations according to your destiny traced in advance. I have observed the subtle energy changes in the atmosphere of this meeting, the imperceptible tremors of arrogance hiding behind their false certainty. And I reveal to you, every tremor constitutes the prelude of total astonishment. While they believed they mocked your supposed weakness, they actually accelerated their own vertiginous fall. The grandeur of this inversion remains still hidden, patiently awaiting the chosen hour. When celestial movement finally touches Earth with its power, everything will align perfectly according to my will. Write in the comments, my triumph approaches with great strides. This declaration opens spiritual channels so divine blessings flow into your existence. Let us continue this extraordinary revelation. My chosen one, the brutally exposed secret isn't an insignificant thing. It's the strategic fulcrum of your exceptional destiny, the true lever of your spectacular transformation. What they qualified as vulnerability actually represents a powerful signal launched to the universe, a celestial marker that summons all forces aligned with my supreme will. Angels already stand in waiting position, guaranteeing that every mockery becomes the catalyst of a dazzling revelation. The laughter that wounded you now marks the rhythm of your triumphant ascension. Even believing themselves superior and dominant, they are already caught in the meshes of my divine weaving. The threads of my eternal design encircle their arrogance and draw them inexorably toward my story. In dimensions that completely escape human sight, the first tremors of general astonishment already resonate. The exact form of this revelation still rests in the secret halls of the eternal, awaiting solemn announcement. I've examined the fragile web of influence and power in which they evolve, fragile as the most delicate crystal. They swear it's unshakable rock, but I know perfectly the degree of fragility of their foundations. Every mocking laugh, every condescending gesture, every whisper filled with contempt progressively piles up the collapse of all their illusory certainties. Angels watch like tireless sentinels, calibrating with precision circumstances and spiritual energies. What they claim to diminish becomes the authentic source of your new authority. The secret they ridiculed with such complacency now transforms into a receptacle of divine power. It will illuminate the paths of many souls in distress while elevating you far beyond the limits they imposed on you. The complete hour hasn't yet arrived, but solid foundations are already firmly established. Celestial currents converge with millimetric precision toward your destiny. What they laughed at will become the brilliant testimony of perfect divine orchestration. Angels don't simply assist passively at these events, they participate actively, molding results with subtlety the human mind cannot apprehend. Every exchanged glance, every spoken word, every accomplished gesture was carefully weighed and transformed into powerful momentum for your radiant future. The secret they mocked now vibrates with profound design, filled with unlimited potential. Celestial armies direct conversations, orient opportunities, and even influence thoughts in your favor. While they imagine controlling this story's narration, I have already placed all fundamental pillars. The hour of revelation will arrive with absolutely incontestable force, and their sneers will give way to the most total amazement. Complete revelation remains veiled, suspended in divine time, but it is imminent. These 8 people continue to seriously underestimate the scope of their acts. They still mock, convinced this reduces your very essence, and they are gravely mistaken. Every act of derision they commit instantly transforms into a cornerstone of your future elevation. Before revealing what follows, write, "Divine light guides me toward my victory." This affirmation reinforces your connection with superior forces and accelerates the manifestation of your triumph. Now let us discover what follows. Angels circulate like currents of pure light, invisible to earthly eyes, but of formidable efficiency. They subtly influence important decisions, orchestrate favorable alignments, and guide every step that will turn to your benefit. The secret they tried to expose to humiliate you now stands as a banner of spiritual strength. Every sharp comment they pronounce resonates like the beating of a drum in the grandiose symphony of your ascension. They consider themselves architects of this cruel mockery, but in reality, they meticulously construct their own future stupefaction. The exact way amazement will manifest remains secretly guarded for the divinely marked hour. Their laughter isn't simply a sound resonating in the air. It's a powerful vibration that crosses all spiritual worlds. It touches the compassionate heart of angels and moves invisible currents of destiny according to my will. Every contemptuous glance, every hurtful joke, every condescending whisper was carefully woven into the majestic tapestry of your elevation. What they qualify as weakness constitutes an inexhaustible reservoir of spiritual power. This reservoir grows in the deepest silence, accumulates considerable force, attracts beneficial influences they cannot glimpse. Even in their proud and satisfied entertainment, heavens bend reality in your favor with absolute precision. Everything aligns with perfect exactitude, and the ridiculed secret transforms into a master key. A key that will open revelations so stupefying they will literally take their breath away. This meeting room was never simply ordinary human action terrain. It was the chosen theater of grandiose divine orchestration. Angels attentively observed every accomplished gesture, every facial expression, every subtle energy change in the atmosphere. Even their excessive arrogance was carefully redirected and transformed into precious fuel for your spiritual elevation. The secret they mocked has become the perfect balance point. The scale's weight now leans resolutely to your side. Every hurtful word they pronounced has sown fruits they absolutely hadn't foreseen in their calculations. They remain blind to the role they play in this much vaster story, but heaven already refines the crescendo of approaching general astonishment. I observe imperceptible tremors of their pride and the fragile confidence that artificially supports it. This situation won't endure eternally. Right now, I am protected by forces my eyes cannot see. This declaration activates an invisible shield around you and allows angels to act even more powerfully in your existence. Let us continue this final revelation. Every burst of mocking laughter has transformed into pure energy that directly fuels your triumphant ascension. Angels direct destiny's tide, polishing every opportunity with the divine breath of my will. What could have become a deep wound has transformed into a channel of spiritual power, celestial influence, brilliant divine light. The brutally exposed secret is no longer simply a kept secret. It has become a luminous beacon guiding your path. They still suppose they exercise total control, but the terrain has already transformed beneath their feet without them noticing. Their arrogant assumptions progressively disintegrate while invisible forces work tirelessly. Ephemeral human laughter is only a passing echo that dissipates. My design for you is eternal and unshakable. What they mocked now elevates you toward summits. What they ridiculed transforms into invincible force. Angels continue adjusting hidden currents and drawing favorable outcomes. The secret they judged insignificant and pitiful constitutes the seed of an extraordinary revelation. The hour of unveiling advances inexorably, bringing with it complete astonishment and forced humility. These 8 people, in their arrogance and profound ignorance, perfectly accomplish the roles I determined for them since the origin. Every cruel joke, every satisfied sneer, every subtle attempt to diminish you only considerably reinforces your spiritual position. Angels encircle all their earthly plans and redirect all energies according to my sovereign will. Thus, every act of contempt they commit adds directly to your glorious ascension. Blind pride, laughter that seems victorious to them, but all this is only one more step toward their total shock. The secret they thought to use to shame you has already become the solid base of your growing influence. Divine favor and public recognition approach you like an irresistible and assured tide. Destiny's currents envelop you like invisible but benevolent chains. What was orchestrated to ridicule you will become the very source of their deepest astonishment. I whisper to the heavens and accelerate this alignment with absolute divine precision. And if this message touches your heart deeply in any way, feel within you the inspiration to support this mission by clicking like. This gesture of love helps us continue bringing words that heal and awaken consciousnesses of those who need it most. Everything they accomplished integrated perfectly into the gears of my divine orchestration. Their laughter, their knowing smiles, their sharp words, all of this wove itself into my celestial tapestry. Angels operate in hidden domains, directing spiritual forces and important conversations in your favor. Your secret hasn't only become a source of strength, it's the key that opens absolutely unimaginable doors. Doors of spiritual influence, divine revelation, and elevation far beyond the ordinary. While they imagine commanding this earthly game, their proud plans actually serve my eternal designs. Every mockery they express exactly amplifies the power they sought to diminish. They will contemplate what they mocked and witness spectacular transformation. The precise method and exact hour remain veiled in the Eternal's mantle, but the marked hour will arrive without fail, and no one will be able to deny it. My beloved, make no mistake. Their laughter doesn't constitute a sign of victory on their part, but the certain omen of their imminent fall. Every sound that resonated in this room has already transformed into powerful testimony that will turn against them. What they imagine to be grounds for humiliation for you actually represents the eternal recording of their own spiritual blindness. They don't perceive they serve as actresses in an infinitely vaster play, a play written by my own divine hands, where you aren't the victim but the triumphant protagonist. Even when they seemed to laugh at your situation, heaven was already tuning the instruments of your future elevation. Nothing that occurred escaped my attentive gaze. The secret they mocked constitutes a fertile seed planted in eternity's soil. They tried to uproot roots they judged fragile, but without realizing it, they fertilized the ground. Now what was the target of their sarcasm germinates in spiritual force and grows in divine power. You, my chosen one, are prepared to bear spiritual fruits that many souls will be able to taste. Mockery was only the beginning of a revelation cycle that will bring abundant and blessed harvests. Nothing was lost. Nothing will ever be vain in this trial. Even their laughter will transform into a brilliant sign of your final victory. If you feel this divine revelation has touched your soul today, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel of light and hope. Together, we form a spiritual community where every story counts, where every testimony brings strength to others. Share with us in the comments your own experience. Have you ever lived moments where what seemed to be your greatest weakness revealed itself to be your greatest strength? What precious teachings did you draw from this revelation today? Your testimony could be exactly what another soul needs to find hope and faith again. Because in this benevolent community, we support each other, we encourage one another, and we grow together in divine light. Ultimate with your energy and claim your victory. I am worthy of true love. 777. Divine light guides my path. Don't forget to like this message if it resonated with your heart. Subscribe for more divine revelations and share this light with someone who needs to hear these words today. Your spiritual journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come.